This is my newest quadcopter. It's a folding H-Copter with a brushless camera gimbal, 2-axis camera gimbal, FPV, SunnySky 20-16 motors, 900 kV motors, with a DJI Naza-M V2 flight controller. It uses David Windestill's Tricopter camera tray as a camera vibration isolation mount to this guy here, which is a brushless camera gimbal that I hacked together with some aluminum. This originally was an RCTimer camera gimbal. It was heavy and clunky and didn't work very well, so I reused all the parts and I machined out this little guy, and it works quite nice. The booms are hollow aluminum. I prototyped this quad with wooden booms while when I was prototyping it and building it. The wooden booms work quite well, but once I got these aluminum ones, they're stiffer and I swapped them out. The landing gear is PVC pipe cut, and I have a separate video on how I make those. I really like those. They're light and nice and springy. It's got a 5.8 gigahertz transmitter, and back here is the GPS for the DJI Naza. And what I'll do is I'll unfold it. Just wanted to show where I keep it stored. I keep it stored on the shelf, on the wall. So as you can see, it's, you know, when it unfolds, it's like 2 feet wide. But for storage, it stores on this nice little shelf from IKEA. The quadcopter length is approximately 20 inches end to end. I'll now unfold it. So it went from a really small, compact form factor for transportation and storage to a copter that is from propeller to propeller, about 24 inches, 25 inches, and then propeller to propeller around 19 inches from end to end, from here to here. So I'll talk a little bit about electronics. I'm running Hobby King 20 amp ESCs reflashed with simonk. I have a separate video on reflashing those. My transmitter is a Futaba 2.4 gigahertz FHSS. It's a DJI Naza-M V2 with the PMU, the LED, and the GPS module and compass. I have a power distribution built within the body. I should mention the body is made out of Lexan, 1/8 Lexan. You can get it at Home Depot. The hardware is all number 6 bolts and nuts. I power it, the whole system, with a Turnigy 4-cell 3.0 25C battery, Lipo. Here's a better view of how I mount the camera gimbal system. I built this, and I need to do some cable management, tie it all up, but I use removable zip ties, and I just have some foam underneath the camera gimbal. I'll take the camera gimbal off and show you later, but I use some aluminum tubing, attached it so that I can run the zip ties through it, and then it just compresses it on with some foam, so that provides a really good vibration isolation. On the bottom, I have holes cut out for the ESC wires, so everything is run through the body, so it keeps all the wire within the whole copter. And then I have holes drilled in the Lexan to run all the cables out, so it keeps it all nice and tidy. Even my power distribution, just for the camera and the FPV gear, right now it's a little untidy. I'm going to tidy that all up. So overall, quite happy with this, and I'll have some videos, some test flights, and I'm trying to get some onboard footage with the camera gimbal as well. A few other things I wanted to mention about this frame is, after designing it as an H-quad, I had the boom straight across like this, but I decided to kick it out a couple degrees, and I just kind of arbitrarily picked something and just cut the dowel here just a little bit on an angle, and then I just kind of measured across to make sure, across like this, diagonally from propeller to propeller, to ensure that they were equal. So that kind of squares it up, kind of like when you're building a house or a floor. So also mention the camera gimbal. I'll plug that in. So I'll plug in the battery. And I have all of the wiring to this power distribution. So it's all modular, so I can take the gimbal off if I want to, just if I want to fly it without the gimbal to get longer flight time. So now that it's initialized, what I can do, so I'll just pick it up, and as you can see, it's nice and stable. Still have to play with the PID settings on the controller a little bit, but overall it works pretty good. And again, this is the RCTimer camera gimbal that's all hacked apart to make it lighter, and I found it didn't work all that well actually, but now it seems to work pretty good. I also have it hooked up to the remote, the controller, so that when I turn the pot, this will rotate, and I'll demonstrate that here in a second. So I have my controller, and I have this pot set up, this variable rate dial set up to this gimbal. So when I turn it, see, it rotates. So this is really kind of handy. So that's kind of nice. And when you rotate it, it stays in the spot. So that's the camera gimbal. So I'll fold it back up. You can see how nice and compact it folds up, and how easy it is to fold up as well. So really nice for traveling. I'm going to build another case, a wooden case. I have a video on, I built one for a Quadcopter, or I should say I have an article, I mean, and I'm going to build one for this, because I'll probably take this traveling with me, and I can stick it on my carry-on on a plane. Yeah, so that's my new folding H-Copter. I'm super happy with it, and I'll post some flight video as well. Also, fully loaded, it weighs about 1,700 grams, I believe, so it's pretty hefty, but it flies quite nice. Propellers also, I should mention, they're 10-inch props, 10 by 4.5. They're plastic props. I'll probably want to upgrade to something a little beefier in the future, just because if I carry all this, you know, the weight of this copter is kind of heavy, and these props might not last as long. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll append some flight videos, maybe either to the end of this video, or I'll post it in a separate video.